So once you've designed all your vector art brushes, you can see I went through and created some here using the ones that we imported. And I've just got them here, they're all art brushes. And I made a little illustration over here. And what I did is I used some of the brushes and created another version. And you can see the difference. It really makes it pop. It really makes it stand out and adds a bit of flavor and style to the actual illustration. You can see here all the details there of the brush. And it just makes overall look nice and fun. So what you can do here, I'll show you how to play around with them. So what I usually do, I usually create clipping masks. So the cool thing about clipping masks is that the effects will stay within the shape. So I'm just gonna lock the background. If I copy this shape, and I'll just show you over here. So I'm gonna press Control C, Control F, and you copy that above that. And I'm just gonna select one of the strokes and make sure you put the fill on the stroke. So now we've got our brush, and what we can actually do now is I'm going to create another copy, put that in front, and then we can actually select the brush and the shape together, and it's going to make a clipping mask. So you can see now that's actually a clipping mask. And what we can do, we can press Control Alt or Control Option 7, and it's going to break that out of the clipping mask. So that's one way to keep the effects within the shape if you don't want it to pop out. So you can do it like that, which is pretty sweet. So I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm just going to put that there. So you can see now we're starting to get some cool effects, some nice detail in there. And I'm just going to add some light. Maybe it can be like the sun going down. And also you can play with your blending modes. So I'm going to drag this out. Open your transparency panel. So go Window, Transparency. Go down to find it. You'll find it T. And you can play around with blending modes. So I'm going to change the color here. And then I'm going to go through my blending modes. Make sure it's in front. Change the color. Change the fill. And you can see now if you go through these blending modes, you're going to get different effects. Which is pretty cool. So we're already getting some cool effects there. I actually might drag this behind the building. So you just go Control Shift left bracket. And we're just going to make sure it's in front of the background. Okay, that's actually looking cool. So we'll use this blue, and you can see it's on exclusion. And blue is a complementary color to orange. So I'm actually going to get rid of the stroke. I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control F. Get rid of the fill. So now we have the stroke. So we can play around with that. Go back to normal brown. I'm going to bump up the size. I'm going to change the brush actually. So just play around with different brushes until you get like some nice effects. Okay, I kind of like that. And you can even rotate this as well. So I just rotated that. Yeah, that looks sweet. So the key is to just play around, and you can always change the effects. It's currently on tints and shades. That's why it pretty much overlays the tint or the shade of the color on top. And you can play around with the swatches there as well. So I'm just going to go through, add some more. And just play around with the sizing. Try and avoid going too high with the points. I usually try and go for, 0.25 or 5 point with the brushes. And play around with the overlays again. That's kind of cool. Okay, that looks kind of cool. And remember, we're going to create a copy. And I'm actually going to select the stroke. Double click that. So we've got our copy in here. Oh wait. You can actually go into isolate mode. It will take you in there. Make sure you select the stroke as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got the clipping mask and the stroke there. So it's starting to look good, starting to play around with it. Got the moon. These trees there, they're grouped, so you want to ungroup them. And maybe you want to add some nice effects. You can even go 0.1 as well. It's too much. Just to add subtle outline to the trees. I'll copy that, Control C, Control F. Just playing around with the blending modes. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, you get the point. You know, play around with the brushes. You get some nice effects, and you create some cool, nice styles on your cool illustrations.